Good morning and welcome to the Bookworm Bindery. I am videoing fairly early in the morning, and what that means for us right here and now is my cats have been very silly this morning. Just their normal, actually running around and being a little crazy. So we're going to maybe have to deal with some cat noises and maybe even paws and faces running through the camera. We'll see. Okay, so I'm making pockets. This is a multi-pocketed paper fold that's going to give us space to tuck things in. This was requested by a YouTube watcher. Let's see. She was watching a video. Honestly, it's been weeks ago, and I'm just now getting down to this. And this is something. This is a cute little pocket setup that has been shown on multiple videos by other creators, and so it may not be new to you, but it might be, and it might be been a while, and this might just be a good reminder. I tend to appreciate those reminders myself. So I have got actually sheet music. I'm working on a medium-sized Christmas themed junk journal, and so I thought, well, let's do a couple of pieces of Christmas sheet music to put in. And then I have this sheet music and songs from Jungle Book. It was a big book. This has actually been torn down a little bit to get rid of the excess edges on the page. So we'll start with this one, seeing how this is the one that's up. And it's nice to have paper that is two-sided. If not, then one side being plain will just give you print parts and plain parts. And that looks nice too. So let me move these aside. I'll get to those in a minute. And I kind of played around with this a bit as I was tearing off the edges, and I decided that this is what I want to be up. The whole thing isn't going to show, but as you'll see in a minute, but you can use a rectangle, as this is, or a square. And what we're looking to do here is to fold this upward so that these two opposing corners, so this corner over here and this corner down here, make a V. And how wide of a V, totally up to you. So there's my V. This is not something that has to be measured out. It doesn't have to be precise. It can be, but when you have a rectangle, it's never super clear. A square would give you a very even strip here. A rectangle does not. And we're going to fold this down. And then these corners are going to get turned in. So now I have an upside down picture part. We've lost him here, but he's running around here. And we have the snake there. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to unfold these. They could be put this way as well, but why? Why would I hide his little face? It's cute. But I could now turn it over and say, if I fold it this way, do I like the images better? So that's an option. And let me show you what happens with this. Looking for something to tuck in. Okay. Here is a little fall tag. Once this is folded, obviously we have a tuck here. We're going to have a tuck spot here. We're going to have one here. We're going to have one here. And if I glue this down across the sides and the bottom, I will end up with a large tuck spot in the back, which I would not put this in because this would be something more for a large journaling tag or a piece of paper of some size. So this one is going to be pretty sizing, good sized too. And this one. Now, here's my thing. Turn it back over. In folding it this way, it's the exact same issue. It's the exact same set of folds. So you just have to kind of look at this and decide what you like the look of. Here, 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 and then all the way in the back. So stick that back where it belongs so I don't lose it. So this is the way I decided to do it. Yeah, he's upside down, but that's life. It works. We're sometimes just upside down. Now, if I bring it this way, I think this pocket's a little more obvious. And you can actually slip something into here bigger if it's like this. But then I lose his face. So I've already lost his head over here as he's running away. So now one of the things that you can do is make this a little wider. And if I was like, I really, really, really want the kid's face here, I could move it out and make this wider. What you have to kind of look at there then is, will it fit in your journal? So my preference is to cross this over. So in my mind's eye, I like to cross this over so that it's just past that point. If I fold it too far, I just lose too much of the background. You might also just want to go kind of, again, just by eye, straight down. If I do that, this is a little wider. So, just fold it. It's paper. If you decide after you fold this way that you wanted it to be wider or narrower, refold it. It's fine. Unless the paper is really brittle, you don't have to worry about that. And the thing about really brittle paper is that this is not the best application for it. Okay, so light folds. I'm going to come back with a bone folder in a minute. And bone folder. And actually press those in. But first of all, I want to open this up and I want to ink these folds. You can ink the whole edges of the paper and you would have had this inked, this, that. And then you could do your folds. Ink is not something that I suspect we think, oh, I should only ink the little bits that show because I don't want to waste ink. Might think that, and there's nothing wrong with that thought. But sometimes I feel like I've inked miles and miles of paper edge. So my preference is to not do that. So by doing a light press, I can see where that fold line is. And I know that I need to fold here. Broke down and bought one of these handy little ink things. There was a sale on at Michael's and I had a coupon and it was going to expire. There wasn't anything I actually needed at Michael's right then. But I didn't want to let it go either. And so I was like, it's time to splurge. I've been using those little makeup wedges. I had bought them at some point in the past to actually do some nail art, I guess. And, you know, I did that a few times and then thought, that's nice. Now I've tried it. I'm good. And I don't use it to put makeup on. So this was the perfect use. Still have some, still will use it. But it just so happened that I had one of the makeup vitamin or daily pill stacks. I brought part of it down. It's tall, and I just thought it would be cumbersome. That it was no longer being used. There, now you can see those black edges nicely. And I'd seen somebody using those. I can't even tell you who. I think it's somebody I saw in a YouTube short. And it was just this quick thing. And when she finished, she just puts them back in here, but she never shows you this peeling it off and getting ink on your fingers and sticking it back in. There's my ink on my fingers. But what she does show is picking them up. Sorry, going in for my wipe to get the ink off my fingers. So that crinkle is done. Get this ink wiped off. Luckily, it's basically just distress ink, so it does wipe off. Okay. So then what she showed, and I went, ooh, that's so clever, is when she took her little handled thing and she put it in, she picked it up. I was like, oh, this is the perfect way to store these. Keeps my ink colors separate. So it's new. It hasn't gotten all saturated yet. So, ink around the edges. I do have the brushes. I picked up a pack of black ones, so I just wrote on the back with a metallic ink pen. And then I picked up ones, you know, there was a packet that had colors in it. That's nice. And they are very handy, and I really do like them. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I hadn't gone for this. Sorry, my voice is a bit rough today. It's fall allergy season, which for me is just as bad as the spring. Anyways, so back to the subject at hand. So now let me go ahead and do the folding of my paper. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use the edge of your scissors. I thought that was rather clever. Shabby Dabby Doodah. Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah uses her scissors, and because they're right on the desk, it's just handy and it makes a lot of sense. It just so happens that mine are not on the table right now. A lot of times I just use my fingernail. So now I'm going to ink those edges. Unlike, I guess they're the folds that I'm doing. Unlike the brushes, I find that you don't have to refresh the ink on these as much, and I suspect that will be true for me too, is once this is better saturated. Okay, so there is my folded pocket. It's going to sit very nicely inside a book. It will get folded down, glued in. Not folded, glued down. Now, if you're like, oh, but it's got such cute stuff on it, I don't want to glue it in. Don't. It can be paper clipped in. It could be, that would work just fine. You could slide it into a pocket or a belly band. Belly bands often let us put things in that are thicker or multiple layers. So this could go into a belly band perfectly. Now, you can leave it like this, but I am going to glue it. And my preference on this actually is to fold this in here. I think it just looks cute. So this is fine, but I do like this folded into there. Okay. I'm going to start by folding or gluing this down. So let's do that. As soon as the glue decides to mosey down. And I'm just going to glue along this edge here. I don't really need to glue up. I've got a little glue board. It was a protector out of a 3-ring note binder, that kind of half size sheet, kind of little, probably had 3 subject sections, and it had this. And as it was used up and I was getting ready to dispose of it, I thought, I can use this plastic thing for something. And it's nice to use as a glue mat. I have a regular glue mat. My regular glue mat is a, okay, now we're gluing here. And then we'll tuck it into there. My regular glue mat is an inexpensive cutting board. I think I picked them up at Ace Hardware in a packet of 2. And they work great. You can wipe them down. You have to remember that while it's a cutting mat, it's meant to cut up vegetables or something like that. Not use your razor blade style cutter. I did that on mine, so it has a couple of cuts in it. Okay, I'm just making sure with the point of this, you can use anything. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to go in here and make sure that the glue that I put down did not close this up. Now, technically, it shouldn't. It's right at the end of this one in here that it might have squished in and closed these down. The reason it shouldn't close this particular pocket in is because this is a fold. Now, I'm going to go inside this along here to make sure this glue line didn't close that up particularly far. A little bit, yes. And then in this one, because this is the pocket that is this in the back side of this fold. And I want to shove this in so far that it literally opens up this glue line. Just enough to make sure that maybe kind of a bigger poof of glue here didn't get smushed upward and in. So I find that if you put glue on a pocket space and you glue, you go to press it down, don't start from the out and press inward, start from the inside of it and press outward. That way your extra glue will come out here. Yes, it'll get on your mat, that's what you have it for, and then it can be cleaned off. There you go. Cute pocket. Ready to be put into, loaded up with all kinds of stuff. Okay, pocket number 1. Now we're going to do the next 2. They're not going to take anywhere near this amount of time. So if you feel like that demonstration was sufficient, we're good. And if you're on your way elsewhere, let me just ask you to hit the like button. Maybe go in and hit the follow, hit the bell so that you get notifications. I don't post heavily, so it's not like you are going to get a ton of annoying notifications, but I shoot for a couple times a week. Okay, so here's my Christmas one, the first of my Christmas ones. And I'm going to fold it this way. I folded it the other way the last time, but I wanted the Santa Claus at least to show. The whole name of the song isn't going to show, but there's that. Yes, I think that'll do. Okay, so put my light fold in. Unfold and ink. Wow. This paper isn't quite as thick as the Jungle Book. Folded right over. So if you are someone who watches other paper crafter content, you may have seen Pam at the Paper Outpost, because honestly I don't know that I've ever seen other people do this. Maybe I did and I just haven't paid a lot of attention. But when she has older ink pads, and this one for me is 2 years old or so, and you're not getting much ink out of it, she spritzes it with her little spray bottle, and I'm always like, ooh, that's so cool. And as this is not wanting to come out nicely, that's what I did. Maybe. Okay, let's open this up and get this put in. So thanks, Pam, for that idea, for being the brave soul that you are to perhaps go down uncharted territory. Or not. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. And now we have to go over here. Okay, let's look. Yes. All right. So I had actually run a video, so it's in the thing. If you go down and click on the Bookworm Bindery label under the actual video, it takes you to the list of videos, right, that you can click on. And there was I don't know, a video some time ago that I had pips, my projects in progress, and one of those is a medium-sized. Let's see, I want to place this inside here, so I want to glue this one down first. Little details. A medium-sized junk journal Christmas theme, and I'm getting ready to start that. So in real time, right here and now, it is the middle of September, and I've got some craft shows coming up, and one is a Christmas themed. So I thought, well, I'm going to take I call them starter junk journals, where you can purchase a journal that is not a packed junk journal. It's ready to go, ready to be loaded up, inked, written in, etc. Let's get that pressed down. I decided not to ink this before I glued it, because sometimes I get ink all over myself because it didn't get it dry before I glued it. Yeah. Anyway, about the Christmas. So I thought, well, I'll make a couple more and make one a nice packed junk journal. I find that when people come to look at books, because I sell more empty page, blank page, I guess is the term, blank page journals and books that I make, and that's what led me into junk journaling. Okay, there's the second one. Let's see, I'm going to lose Santa Baby. So here's another Santa Claus is back in town. Let's see, this one. Well, if nope, not the right corner. Opposite corners. Come on, Kath, you can do this. If I fold it this way, I'm going to lose Santa Claus. So opposite corners, come up into a V. I'll probably be keeping, you know, I'm gonna, yeah, when I look at this, I did tear down these edges. Get a ruler that I can do that with here. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Christmas junk journal. So I find if I have some junk journals that are packed up, that then, oh, this might be better if it's not under there. Then it gives people ideas. You know, I talk with people all the time who have no idea what a junk journal is. And, okay. Seriously? Oh, that got crooked. It did get cut crooked, or torn crooked. So I'll turn it this way. Anyway, so if there's some there, then it lets people see what it is that they can do. And it opens up the craft to some people who had no idea there was such a thing. Okay, here we go. Didn't do that there. And, you know, sometimes those people are like, what in the world? Why would you do that? So this is just a regular, like, I don't know, 99-cent ruler from Fry's or Kroger, depending on, I suppose, where you live. Doesn't have that nice strip of cork on the back side, and that keeps your papers from slipping out under your ruler when you're tearing. It's just that mine is so long, the one that has the cork in it is so long. Okay, here we go. This way? No. This way. So remember, opposing corners. Okay. I think my Santa Claus is going to look, it's going to show up. I like these corners to be straight with each other. I've seen people do them off. I think when I do them off, which I have done a few times just because somebody's done it, it was interesting. I thought, let's try it. I prefer it when it's the under one, the lower, you know, the underneath piece of the paper that's up higher. I was looking at this trying to see if I could get Santa Claus in the uncovered section more. The fact is, not really. So I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to tear this down a little bit more, so that Santa will actually be up in the corner. I don't know that I'm tearing this straight. So there may be something that I can glue on the back of that we'll save this. That might be something we want to use for, I don't know, a belly band or something. Just shove it over there for now. Pick it up in a minute. Okay, here we go. Right? Pros and corners. Seems a bit redundant, but when you're folding sometimes. Okay, so here's my fold. So this one's going to be smaller because I tore away more. And this is going to come in and this is going to come in. And let's just look at the difference. When you tear just a little bit more away, there you. It's a little bit shorter here, a little bit narrower here. That's nice. Variety. It's a good thing. Okay. Here or here. See? I feel like that makes that pocket smaller. All right, let's ink away and be done with this project, but let's ink away on the side that's actually going to show. So here you go. I managed to babble at you for a half an hour unfolding 3 sets of pocket pages. That's okay. That's okay. If you're still with me, thanks. And if you're not, you'll never know I said thanks, so you won't miss me. Okay, fold it this way. But if you are still here, please remember to hit that notification button and hit the like. It helps. I don't know. It's not a biggie. At this point, I'm not sure where I'm going, so. Okay, and then this gets folded. This is on the top. Okay, let's fold this down. It's a little thing to make press that fold down. It's a little thing. But I can tell you, I'll back this open just a little more, that when you are putting many pages or many pockets and many tucks in a junk journal, this small act of smushing, I like that word, smushing that down with an edge of something versus leaving it not pressed down, the difference is very noticeable to the touch. And therefore, I know it would be noticeable in the thickness of your junk journal. I just did a video on red, white, and blue, the chunkiest journal I've done. A little bit crazy in my book. Although some people, are just like, oh, let's glue first, are like, I just love those great big overstuffed journals. And there is a lot of cool stuff in it. It's true. I ended up putting a nice wide piece of vintage satin ribbon around it to close it, just tied around. It could be slipped underneath the threads that hold the signatures in the book. On the outer part of the spine, the ribbon could be slipped underneath those threads, and then it wouldn't just fall away every time you untied it to get in. So that's just a babble about a completely different project. But it might be something that would be helpful. My brain was just traveling. Okay, see? Didn't even do that on the glue mat, so I'm going to slip it away. Okay, so let's finish this up and finish up the video and tell you thank you very much for coming and checking it out. And once I started chatting, my cats started being very good boys. So thank you guys, appreciate that. And there you have it. It doesn't really take a half an hour. If I'm not babbling, this is like a, I don't know, 10-minute job. Okay, maybe not 10 minutes, but there we go. Thanks so much. Enjoy your crafting day.